Welcome to the Whiskey After Work podcast. This is where booze meets business. I'm Doug Shaw, owner of Peach State Business Brokers and Advisors.
And I'm Melissa Hergert, owner of Brain Train Centers.
We are serial entrepreneurs that love to learn from other successful professionals and love to drink whiskey.
Hello, Doug.
How you doing?
Douglas. I'm good. How are you?
Good. We're here at episode 6 of the Whiskey After Work podcast, coming to you live.
Live?
Sorta. Recorded live. From the Low T Nation Studios in downtown Marietta, Georgia.
Yeah, they're so nice to let us use this beautiful space.
Love Brandon and Amanda and Tammy and the whole gang. Kelly. Yep. Love them.
Great spot.
Take good care of us. Really appreciate it. If you need some hormone replacement,
weight loss,
general fitness,
health, lab work.
It's all there.
All stuff.
Come see them. Low T Nation. I'll go ahead and say that this episode is also brought to you by
Brain Train Centers.
Yes. Keystone Realty Group. And Peach State Business Brokers and Advisors. So if you need any services offered by them, hop on in. Mm-hmm. If you need to have a podcast that does not offend you, you probably ought to go somewhere else.
Yeah, go find a different podcast.
What we say here is the opinion of the idiot saying it. Nobody else, no other companies, no sponsors, nothing. Just that.
Hell of an intro, Doug. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I'm just protecting you. Today's guest is the one, the only, Rob Lee. I would tell you what he does, but I can't pinpoint it down to just one or two or three or four things. He's a man of many talents, and we're going to get into it a little bit. And actually, I think, I think I have a little intro to him where I can talk about it a little bit. Let's see here. I asked him to send me some stuff. He did not let his awesome wife send me anything, which is probably good when it's all said and done, because she'd have told me way better things about him than he told me.
That assumes she pays enough attention to me to tell you all those details. So.
Well, you're a fertile dude, and there's kids running around that house.
Yeah. She's cursing my name right now because I'm here in this lush studio, and she's getting screamed at by a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old.
Those are fun.
Fun ages. You taught them how to do the screaming, so.
Yeah, well, I'm fairly positive that one of them's auditioning for the Taliban.
Yeah,
fairly positive.
there you go. They can join my kids. So Rob is comes to us by way of Cheyenne, Wyoming, originally. Oh. Yeah, God's country, man. That is some beautiful, beautiful country.
I haven't been there yet.
And he's a Colorado guy, though. He went to high school in Colorado. He's a Colorado State grad. Cool. Another political science guy with a minor in criminology. That's why he got so good at crime.
Oh,
he's got the criminology.
Learned
That's
in
it.
College,
He almost took the same path as our last guest.
Oh.
And then he realized that he wanted to have a soul. So he did not go to law school, but he did real good on his LSAT. Maybe you can coach my daughter. She's getting ready to take it.
Nope.
Other than that, I'm not going to dive into a whole lot. He's got a super wife. Her name's Blair. Met her a few times, and again, just like I said with others, I mean, like many of my friends, he has far out kicked his coverage, and he's not afraid to admit that. And he's got a couple of really cute kids, and they run around like banshees, and that's what kids are supposed to do.
Yeah,
I think,
especially at that age.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm going to let Rob introduce himself.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think you told the story. I mean, what you didn't say is you said send me a bio, which of course I didn't do last night. So when I saw you at Rotary today, I reminded myself that I didn't send you the bio. And I sent you a very short paragraph, and you had to respond back saying, give me some details here, son. Actually tell your story here a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about your business, but I want to know about you.
Yeah, so, I mean, the long and short of it is I peaked when I was about 12, so I'm an ugly 42-year-old guy that just likes to go out there and do good work for folks and just build relationships with people. Make my life richer by listening to what people do and why they do it, and listen to the funny jokes that they say, and let them listen to the funny jokes I say, and just see where we all connect, right?
Fun.
A fellow Mountain West girl by the sound of it, from SDSU.
I am, yes.
So I hell of a shot to beat FAU there in the tournament, but I was glad to see a Mountain West team.
Yeah, that was
glad to see different teams.
That was very cool.
It was refreshing to not see the Dukes and the North Carolinas.
True.
And the same old teams. It was cool. It was really cool, and I
Bunch
was
of
pulling
underdogs.
for San Diego State, but it was not to be. I got a lot of friends that went to that school.
I'm the only friend that matters that went to that school.
Don't tell my buddy Tim that. He might get upset.
Tim, I'm the only one that matters.
Okay.
Okay.
So Rob and I met. It was one of those weird. You ever get on Facebook and it like suggests friends for you? Mm-hmm. And this guy keeps popping up on Facebook as a suggested friend, and so I click on him one day, and I'm like, wow, he's got all these friends that are like mutual friends of mine, but none of them came from the same circles.
Oh, that's cool.
So he had a friend that was it's my wife's first cousin, who's a Dayton police officer.
Oh.
The city of Dayton police officer. And then he had like all my friends from Atlanta United. And then all my friends, I'm a big fan of Tottenham Hotspur, the English Premier League soccer team, and like a bunch of friends from Tottenham Hotspur. And then, I'm a pretty political guy. And then he had like all these political friends. And so, I mean, he had like 4 different ways that he was connected to me, and I'd never met this guy. And then he joined Rotary, and I kind of introduced myself and then connected everything together, and it was kind of funny because.
That's cool.
How'd you know my wife's cousin?
So when I was in college.
Oh, shout out to Sally Jones, by the way.
Sally, if you're out there, busting people and doing what you do.
She's in Hawaii, actually, right now.
Yeah, that's right. She is.
Nice.
So in college, I spent my summers working at a summer camp in Maine. And Sally came out there one summer from Ohio, and I think she went to the University of Dayton, didn't she?
No, she started out at Wittenberg, and then she went to Bowling Green.
That's right. So either way, she was from Ohio, and Sally has a personality to her, a little bit more rambunctious, at least it was 20 years ago, and but she was a cool chick, right? And of course. We all graduate college and go about our lives, and Facebook was great to stay connected with some of these folks that I worked with 20 years ago. But and then come to find out, this guy comes up to me at Paulding Rotary and says, "So I've been dying to meet you." Like that could be really good or really bad. And that's when I found out, he's related to Sally, and we have all these other mutual connections from other places. So
yeah, that's really cool.
So now I've got somebody to text with every time Tottenham chokes on the big one, and which is like every fucking week. Not this week.
Every fucking season.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
You're just not a soccer gal, are you?
No. Number 1 concussion sport. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, jeez. It is.
Brain Train Centers can help with that. What a silly plug.
That's a smooth plug, though.
Right?
It's a smooth plug.
No, I've actually been to a game. Terry Abraham and I went a few years.
To Atlanta games?
Yeah.
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 A lot of fun.
They are fun.
It's loud, rowdy, and proud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, my wife is very much an introvert, right? So she doesn't like big, busy public places, but with our season tickets at Atlanta United, she even enjoys going to a game out there. She's like, it's actually enjoyable to watch.
Yeah.
But it's also nice when you don't have 17 TV timeouts and,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty much, you're there 2 hours and that's it.
Yeah.
I like rugby.
Rugby's fun, too.
Yeah, rugby's fun to watch.
You may not know this, Rob, but her ex-husband, who she's still very good friends with, was Mr. Rugby. He played for the U.S. team, and he is
Oh, really?
2 World Cups, New
Really?
Zealand
He's-
and
yeah, he's
London.
kind of
Guess what?
What?
He just got a contract to play for the pro team here in Atlanta.
Oh, what are they called?
Which actually,
ATL.
Rugby ATL.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rugby ATL. Yeah, he's starting to play with them. He's old, but he like filled in last weekend and just was not
He's a beast.
He's a hooker. He's
Yeah.
a big dude, strong.
Wait, hold on. What's a hooker?
He's a hooker. He's such a whore. No, just the hooker is when you're in the what's
The
it called
scrum.
and
Yeah.
you hook the ball
Yeah.
back to your teammates.
So I haven't watched rugby in a long time, but do they still like tape their ears to their heads and stuff so they don't
Some
get
of the guys, not very
Yeah.
many, no. Like some guys on
They
the
wear
USA
headgear?
team, might wear headgear or whatever.
No,
Yeah.
guys used to take like duct tape and tape their
Yeah.
ears to their heads. So they
I
didn't
mean,
get torn off.
when I was growing up, I was 6'2" and about 140 pounds. I was clearly not built for rugby. But funny story, right? ATL Rugby, a good friend of mine, Raj Paul Sagu, part owner of the team, right? He's one of the masterminds that helped bring that franchise
Very
here.
cool.
Yeah, good
Yeah,
guy. So
there's
if you ever
some
need a
good-
guest, I'd recommend you have him on.
Yeah,
talk
we
about
could have
what he
him
does.
and Phil come
Yeah,
on.
I'd like that. I'd like to have Phil on.
They'd
here,
love.
too.
Oh, Phil's a great podcast guest. Anyways, but soccer.
So anyhow, yeah, so that's kind of that's how we met and all that good stuff. And we're both soccer heads and football heads or whatever you want to call us. We just like soccer. So,
It's fun.
so tell us a little bit about what you do.
I mean, I wear shorts to the office, flip flops on days when I
Cool.
can. That's basically it, right? Like my job is to help people tell their story, and our mission is to double the size of our clients' businesses. It's pretty simple with that. So, do direct mail, digital advertising, marketing consulting. At the end of the day, I don't work for other people.
Right.
I work with other people, and so that's kind of what we do in a quick nutshell.
Yeah, nobody's ever picked Rob to be their marketing guy because he was the best dressed in the room.
Nope.
Hey, he's being his authentic self.
Look, I'm dressed up by wearing cargo shorts. today,
You
right? I
had a
dressed
polo
up-
shirt on. I was
Yeah.
pretty proud of you.
Nice.
So, but that's basically it. I mean, I hate the grind. I hate working for other folks. I like being able to sleep in the morning if I want to.
Yeah.
And
With kids?
well, see, the nice thing is that my wife works at Northside. The girls go to daycare every day.
There we go.
So if I can get them out the door, I can have 2 or 3 hours of just blissful, quiet
Nice.
nothingness.
What's your wife do, Northside?
She manages about 6 or 7 med surg units.
Oh,
Cool.
wow.
Yeah. So
She an RN?
yeah, she is. Yeah.
That's very cool. Yeah.
So yeah,
definitely.
she's been at the same place
Higher
her
level.
entire career. Absolutely loves it, and
wow.
is phenomenal at it.
That's a haul too.
You know, she. I've asked her, would you ever want to go to Northside up in Cherokee? And she said, nope. I'm sticking at my camp.
Nurses are crazy and bullheaded.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
My
They're the
wife,
best.
my wife works at the crazy. Northside has more babies. It's the only hospital in Georgia
Yeah.
that delivers more babies than where my wife works. She's an L&D nurse at Kennestone, and I'm like, why don't you go work somewhere where it's not so nuts? And she's like, nah, that's part of the attraction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The busy, being busy and seeing all the different things
Well,
you see.
and I found these healthcare professionals are like mafia, right? They are loyal to their family, and they do not stray.
Yeah.
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 I mean, that's kind of what I've found. So between her being structured and normal and me being, shoot from the hip and helping people with marketing and politics and all these other things I like doing, we make a pretty solid pair, I think. So
Yeah.
So you manage some like local political campaigns and that too, haven't you?
yeah. So our first business, my first business, was actually a political consulting firm. So and I built it because I was one of those paid mercenaries that went across the country and was going to be the next big, great mind that knew everything. Well, I got burned out and went to an engineering firm in Chicago. And I'm not an engineer. I'm not a mechanical engineer, an electrical engineer, but I'm great at politics. So the one type of person that engineers hate more than anybody else are other engineers. So I was able to manage all of these projects by massaging egos and getting people to work together with one another. So I learned all these skills in engineering,
Cool.
that I realized were not being used in politics. And so I've made a business out of doing things better than other folks by using some of these engineering skills and backgrounds, and been able to build a marketing empire off of that, I guess. For lack of a better
You're
term.
kind of a bipartisan hitman too. You send out flyers for just about any kind of political candidate.
I mean,
don't you?
at this point, I'm a fairly conservative guy, but at this point, everybody's become nuts. So,
True.
you know,
true.
if a
they
client
pay
needs
the
some
bill.
help, that's it. So, and our mail shops are agnostic. Our digital agencies are agnostic. So,
and you don't have to say any like candidates or anything like that, but what is the just absolutely slimiest mail piece you've seen go out?
oh, so one thing that I love is one of our clients was Chairman Mike Boyce here in Cobb County, right? Elected in 2016.
Did he pass away?
He
Was
did,
it-
yeah,
Oh.
little bit over a year ago. So the first of a very hard year of passages in my family, but one of the most amazing men I've ever met in my life. Just good people. He and his wife Judy, just absolutely some of the most caring, loving people in the world. So, anyways, back to the slimiest piece. In 2016, he's challenging Tim Lee, who, of course, kind of spearheaded, or at least was the figurehead of bringing the Braves to the county. And Mike's whole thing was, look, if you're going to vote on parks, you got to vote on a stadium, right? We're borrowing $400 million, and you're going to have to pay it back at some level if things go belly up. So that was our campaign shtick, and we got started really early, and we were showing some real progress. And all of a sudden, we started getting phone calls from people saying, hey, I've got this poll, and it had these questions. I looked at Mike, and I just had this grin. It was like a Cheshire cat grin. I'm just like, this is the moment, Mike. This is where we're just going to burn this thing down. And about 3 weeks later, came out the exact slimy, nasty mail piece that just tried to paint Mike in the worst way possible. And as soon as that mail piece came in, we unloaded like 500-yard signs with people that we didn't even know just calling us up saying, Mike stopped by the house, and that's a dirtbag move. These assholes are slandering this guy. We're totally on board.
Wow.
We absolutely dry humped the incumbent commission chairman all over the county, not only in the first round, but in the runoff.
Nice.
And the runoff was just as slimy. They came at him with over $1 million, and we stuck to our game and did things the right way, and
good.
we absolutely steamrolled them. So, and not that the incumbent was any sort of bad guy, right? I mean, he had a bunch of moneyed interests around him that saw a reason to get him reelected. So it wasn't necessarily him. But the moneyed interests were certainly on board with trying to beat our guy, and felt good to win that one.
Yeah, good, bad, or indifferent. I'm sure glad they brought the Braves to the Cobb County part of Atlanta. It's been awesome.
It's been a development boon, right? And that was always the funniest thing is Mike would get these questions from folks where you're gonna tear down that stadium brick by brick. And he's like, this has nothing to do with tearing down a stadium. I'm just going to be honest about what we're doing. But imagine that. Somebody saying, I'm going to tell you what's going on, so that you can be informed about the world. So, and that's what makes Mike, a good man. So,
Yeah. So how many campaigns have you worked on over the years?
hundreds in various fashions.
What's the biggest one?
The biggest one, in 2004, after I graduated college, I was sent out to Nevada to basically organize college students for the Bush-Cheney campaign. I wasn't paid by the Bush-Cheney campaign. I was paid by another organization.
Cheney was a Wyoming guy, right?
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Or is. I mean,
Was. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's from that part of Wyoming. He's from Casper. We don't talk too kindly about them folks down in Cheyenne. So, they just those oil guys, hicks and hillbillies up there. They ain't us classy folks down on the.
Sounds like
down in the
Paulding
plains.
County.
Go easy now. Listen, white girl Melissa. Melissa
I'm
from the hood.
But it's San Diego, so still the best city ever.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Freaking love Wyoming though. Oh my God, it's so beautiful out there.
See, everybody says that. Now I realize it now, but everybody says that, and they say, "Well, you must love Jackson Hole." I've actually never been to Jackson Hole or Yellowstone.
Jackson Hole's I went to Jackson Hole for the first time last year, and I was so excited to go and stand under the antler arches and reenact the Clint Eastwood movies and all that stuff. But man, it was just full of a bunch of rich assholes.
That's it.
And it was like I thought I couldn't wait to go to all the little all the little bars and stuff, and it was all like art museums and shit.
It's
and
bougie.
It made no
just bougie.
They said all the millionaires are moving out because the billionaires are moving in.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
like that.
It was expensive.
It's expensive.
Wow.
But immediately outside of Jackson, it was gorgeous.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I miss about being out there is the rodeo.
Ah.
Yeah, you don't have many rodeos.
No, yeah, you. I mean, I know everybody talks about deep Southern barbecue. You don't have real barbecue here. Real barbecue is in Texas, and you don't have real rodeo out here. I've seen the Paulding County Rodeo, and it's a nice weekend of, nice
Pigs and
nice weekend of fun. But
Pigs.
I don't know. That's what I picture out in Paulding County.
Coming from the same person who didn't know what college was in Athens.
Listen, I'm not from here.
but man, I miss the rodeo.
Yeah,
That sounds
I
fun.
mean, that's it. And the town I grew up in, you had 10 days, daddy of them all. I mean, the best bull riders, the best saddle bronc riders, the best steer
I
wrestling.
like some bull riders.
Everyone.
I don't know why they think 8 seconds is a good ride.
Stay on it.
If you can stay on a big old lady as long as they do for 8 seconds, trust me, that's a hell of a ride. Every muscle going to hurt after that.
This won't take long now, did it?
Oh my goodness, that's
Jesus.
good stuff right there. Oh,
No, you get the PBR here once in a while. They come through once a year or so.
Yeah.
don't they have a big rodeo thing out in Vegas that goes through there?
Yeah. National finals. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Which is also a good place, but they do that indoor, right?
Oh,
I
haven't
yeah.
been to it. Yeah.
So how long did you live in Denver area?
So I grew up in Cheyenne until I was 16, and then when I was 16, I moved down to Colorado, basically to get in-state tuition. So my parents were separated, and just told my old man, I'm not getting stuck in Wyoming for the rest of my life. So, tolerated 2 years of high school down by Four Corners in Cortez, Colorado. If you've never heard of the town, don't worry. You're like 350 other million Americans that have probably never heard of the town. But Mesa Verde, that's what, Mesa Verde and Four Corners.
Colorado is it's a beautiful state, but it's
beautiful.
lost. They've lost that state. It's horrible. I mean, the political climate there is just not great. But it's a beautiful state.
It is beautiful.
Oh, it's absolutely amazing. And everybody, again, thinks of Vail and Beaver Creek and all these snowmass mountains along I-70. The real trick is heading south of Denver and then west across the state.
That's nothing but prairie dogs.
Well, that's the east.
A little. So, you said west across the state.
Yeah, west
I was going to
across the
say,
state.
because anything east of Denver is flat as a pancake and prairie dogs as far as you can see.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Oh gosh, I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
But no, heading west is you'll find a lot more stuff than just ski resorts out there. A lot of cool stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we haven't been out in a long time, but I've never been. I'm not a skier, but we've been out in western Colorado, just the mountains, and that are just gorgeous. We took a couple of days and just started driving, and the bighorn sheep coming right down to the side of the road and eating the grass along the side of the interstate and that, because they have no fear.
Yeah.
But it's, beautiful, just beautiful out there.
Yeah.
So, and then you bounced around a little bit, but how the hell did you end up in Atlanta?
Oh, it's a long country album of heartache and heartbreak and all that kind of stuff. But moved down here in 2011. Spent about 3 years with the person that I moved down here before we both kind of finally realized that
Not meant to be.
our paths are separate. And literally a couple weeks later, met my wife on Match.com of all places. So
Yeah, one of the
Another
very
Match.com
Yeah.
love story.
one of the few.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's it was pretty cool. I remember signing up for the service, and they tell you wait 6 months, and you got to be patient. It's just like dating anywhere else. You've got to go through a relationship process. She was the first person that nudged me, and I said, seems kind of cute. And I'll start talking to her, and then we met for coffee, and I turned off my account a week later.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
I don't know if she did or not. Never really cared to ask.
Don't
but
ask.
Well, if
Doesn't
you're around,
matter.
if you're around
Yeah.
Rob any time at all, he considers he and his wife's story the classic love story. I mean, this guy is mad about this woman.
Yeah.
Great.
It's just the absolute truth. And again, I'm 6'2", she's 5'2", right? She's this structured, organized, empathetic, caring
And he's Rob Lee.
person. And I'm fucking me.
Opposite of me.
Leave me alone. If you don't have anything for me, you're useless. And if I don't have anything for you, I'm useless. So leave me alone. And somehow we still are able to click. So our anniversary was just this past weekend.
Oh.
And of course, because I don't think like she does, I didn't do any gifts or anything like that. And we've just had a really interesting year. Again, lost Mike, and we lost a child, and I just lost my dad. I just flat out told her, I was like, look, I don't have a gift for you because I'm just kind of a mess right now. But the one thing I can do is express how I feel in words that'll move us both. And that was my gift to her. But her gift to me was she found a little candle online that smells great, but it has a little sticker on it that says, "You're the best thing I found on the internet."
Aww.
And I'm like, that
Sounds awesome.
that is our relationship, right? Yeah. I mean, it's just we just accept that we're sharing happiness with somebody for the reasons that we want to share happiness with them, and we accept what they share with us. We've got 2 beautiful daughters because of it. So one of our daughters is just like my wife, very structured, very feelings oriented, cares about how people feel. And then we've got a daughter that's 2.5 years old, and it's just toddlers for Taliban. That's the best way I can say it.
It's
So
always the
she's
second one.
She's cutthroat. She's just absolutely cutthroat.
First time I ever met Melissa's little one. How old is she?
My 4-year-old?
Yeah,
Elia. I have a 12-year-old and a 4-year-old.
Yeah, the first time I ever met Elia, about a year ago, and she comes running up to me and she goes, "I'm a bad bitch." She's running away.
She's a nut. Yeah.
I'm like, "All righty, let's have a talk, kid."
And my 12-year-old calls him Doug. What is he?
Doug Lass.
Ass.
Doug Lass.
Make sure to put the ass in there.
Yeah, she loves me.
Yeah. Mila does love you.
Yeah, I pick on her and encourage her and all the above.
Yeah.
Tell her things she doesn't want to hear.
Yep.
But sometimes that's good.
Well, I've got a 2-year-old that likes to point at her mother and say boobies.
Yeah. Those are fun.
and then-
she gets it honestly because he's 42 and he's like, "Baby."
That's
yeah,
exactly-
right? She's
well,
just
that's-
copying you.
That's exactly what my wife says. She's like, that's
Right,
you, right?
yeah.
That child is exactly you.
That's how my 4-year-old. She's
Yeah.
me, for sure. Yeah.
So, there's this part of our podcast where we drink.
Oh, yeah. We haven't done that yet.
No, we haven't.
What are we waiting on?
There's this great bottle sitting here, and it's somewhat local. And I'm going to have Rob read the bottle because he just did you go to Gem City?
I did.
Great,
I did.
Great little liquor store real close to the Square Marriott.
So I went in there, and I'll admit, I showed up, and I forgot to get whiskey because I was doing some business on the way over here. And you guys said, well, you have to go get whiskey.
That's
yeah.
the rule. I mean,
That's
it's like
the
the
only
one
rule.
I
standing
get it.
rule we have.
So I walked into Gem City, and I'll fully admit, I'm like, I'm either going to get something really nice, or I'm just going to get the cheapest bottle of shit that I can give them. And so I looked at this, and I said, Doug's kind of a bougie guy. He likes being fancy.
He is.
Sometimes.
Real fancy.
Yeah.
So I saw this and I said, well, you stay local, and it's let's see how it goes, and open this up, and it smells great. It smells strong, but smells great. So
You know anything about this one, Doug?
I know that this is from Chattanooga whiskey, and it's 95 proof, and it is it's their barrel finish series, so it's finished in Islay Scotch casks. And I'm trying to see, it is a straight bourbon whiskey, so it's finished in Islay Scotch cask, and Islay Scotch is kind of what it sounds like. That Scotch is made on the islands off the coast of Scotland. And I know Dan Hamilton, and Dan is a local guy who is one of their top regional salespeople for Chattanooga whiskey. And Chattanooga, like many other distilleries, for a long time bought their juice from other distillers and then finished it themselves, and now they do all their own. So this is one of their new finished ones. I have not had it yet. Most of the stuff I've had from them has been really good. Chattanooga is only about an hour and 15 minutes, hour and 20 minutes from here, so I would consider this a local.
Pretty local.
Yeah.
Pretty
So
local.
it's considered a Scotch?
No, this is a bourbon, but it's finished after it's met all the minimum stuff with the bourbon, being in the
Yeah.
new charred oak barrels and all that. Then they take it and they put it into an old Scotch barrel
Okay.
and finish it, let it age a little bit longer than that, so it pulls the flavors.
Yeah,
out of,
and
out
it
of the
does have a
Scotch
little
barrel.
bit of
See.
a peaty
That it does.
odor to it, doesn't it?
Yep.
So,
I'm kind of anxious to try this one.
Let's do it.
and
Where's
I'm not
your
a big
glass?
drinker,
You're
so
not going to try it?
I'll take a sip off Doug's and then take it home with me. And
95 proof. Yeah, this will be a good one to have at the house when you have guests over.
guess when I'm down in my basement working by myself,
Oh,
bust
God.
this thing out. Yeah, you can smell that
Cheers.
Scotch in there.
You never
Cheers.
want to cheers me.
Cheers.
Damn it.
Prost.
Fucking cheers me.
Opa.
Okay, so which one? Where am I gonna look? This is like a tree one.
Yeah, you're going to get a lot on this one because you're going to have
Oh,
some
that smells good.
Scotch. She just give you a plastic cup. I
She
actually
did.
had another
Well, again, I'm from Wyoming, so this is actually really classy because
There
it's
we
a
red
go.
solo cup.
plastic cup that hasn't been used before. So
So this one's going to be on a couple different parts of the tasting wheel, Melissa.
Okay.
This is going to be, you're going to get some of the grain and Scotch flavors, so you're going to end up with some smoke and peat, and then you're going to have the corn and some of the sweetness of the bourbon.
I like that one. Oh wait, what's that end flavor? What the hell?
Oh my,
I like
that's
that.
all over the place.
I know.
It is.
It ends in a whole different flavor.
yeah,
It was like
that's
sweet at first, and then it ended in what was that?
so. This should be a
don't
good
know.
example of why anybody should hire me for what they do, because you don't really know what's going to happen, but once it's done, you're going to walk away thinking,
oh.
"Shit, Rob knows what he's doing."
That was good.
I,
That was
I,
good
I hate to
stuff.
tell you this, but I think you might be onto something here.
Is the end like a aromatic? Like
It ends. It's got a good Scotch flavor at the end.
Yeah, so
Right.
that end flavor, and it's the weirdest thing, is called medicinal.
oh,
And it definitely has that taste of,
The peat and the smoke.
yeah,
and,
it's called a
Yeah.
medicinal flavor. So it's almost got that flavor of being in a very sterile doctor's office. I know it's hard to explain,
It's
but
so
they call it
hard to explain.
medicinal. But no, it's got the peat, and it's still got a little bit of the caramel flavor
It
of,
does, yeah.
of the bourbon, and yeah, that's all over the place.
Kinds
but
of flavors.
yeah,
And
I could drink that.
That's what attracted. So again, not a big drinker, but I do love Scotch.
smells of mahogany.
Ma-
It makes,
and
I have many bound books.
Rich
Yeah.
Corinthian leather. Many
seriously
bound
what it
books. Yeah,
smells.
did you just drop a San Diego
Yeah.
comedy
did.
movie
Ron
reference?
She
on
did.
me?
Burgundy. Stay classy, San Diego.
What does San Diego stand for?
Well's vagina. No, Ron.
She can say it. I wouldn't
No,
say it.
no, Ron Burgundy. That's not what it means.
I love that. The
No,
first
that's
one-
good. But Scotch is. I just love that. I love that flavor of good Scotland dirt and smoke. So that's
Yeah.
why I love Scotch. And this has a good balance between.
Definitely smoky.
That is very good.
Yeah.
So I'm going to
That's a
ask,
good
how much
one.
was that bottle?
I don't.
You just bought it.
Right?
Okay.
What the hell?
Well, here's the deal.
50, 60 bucks.
I keep
think.
the I keep
Really?
the
Yeah.
handy dandy computer in front of me, and let's see what the evil Total Wine says. What's that? Scotch Cask, Chattanooga.
That's good.
Total Wine. I got a marketing story about Total Wine.
Tell it.
They are some of the best.
Let's
So-
hear it.
So when we work with our clients on marketing, right, everybody comes to us and says, well, I just need you to get my name out there. I'm like, well, just slow down a little bit.
Okay.
This isn't about just getting your name out there. It's about helping people enjoy their day or figuring answers to questions or whatever it might be. Total Wine's got this fantastic tool where they will help you plan how much alcohol you need for a party. based on what type of alcohol you're buying, how many people are showing up, how long the party goes for.
Do they have a part where you tell them which friends are coming?
No, I don't
If
think.
Melissa's coming, you need extra.
I don't think that there's a Melissa button on there.
Should
but
be.
it's look, if you're listening from Total Wine, add the Melissa button.
Automatically doubles what you need.
There you go. That's cool.
So-
So wait, do they go in and like you said button? So like, do they go in and
Yeah.
go to the
Yeah,
screen and
yeah. So we use it as an example in some of our presentations to clients when we're talking about their marketing plans.
Very cool.
Say part of the value journey is helping your potential customers build trust with you, and you'd build trust by offering value. Well, if you're going to be shopping at a place like Total Wine, what are some of the questions that you have to answer? What am I going to buy?
Yeah.
So help people find out an answer about what to buy.
Very smart.
So,
Yeah. So
you
you
know.
help them set that all up?
I didn't help Total Wine do it. I just think it's
Oh,
a great example.
That
of-
is a great example.
I wish I did. I'd probably be close to retired right now if I was working
Right.
with companies like Total Wine.
Right.
But we'll get there. We'll get there.
$55.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's solid for.
Tastes like tree bark.
It tastes a little bit of everything in there.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like a party.
I know. I feel like I'm still having different flavors in my mouth right now, and I've already swallowed it.
And it's
Shut up, Doug.
now I'm.
Did I
intrigued.
mention at the
Like,
beginning?
where is this conversation going?
Don't let Doug take it
That-
anywhere else. Back to marketing.
I didn't say
Ding, ding,
anything, but
dong.
the opinions expressed in this show are the person saying them and nobody else. You potty mouth,
You potty bath whore.
Sinners.
salty woman.
Sinners.
Oh my goodness.
I have questions about marketing because earlier you said you do mail marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Is that coming back or did it go away?
Never went away.
Okay.
So it certainly has changed in the world around us, right? I mean, everybody lives on their phone, but it just becomes a question of how it is that you connect to people where they can get more information. So one thing we try to get a lot of our clients to do, and we're fully integrated top to bottom. You walk in and say, I don't have a clue what to do. I don't have a marketing department. We can help you with that. If you have a marketing department and need to get your mail out, we can help out with that. But what we try to do is we try to say, how do you integrate your mail with your digital experience
Okay.
so that you can help nurture clients along that value journey so that they continue to build a relationship with you. And so one of the things that we do on our own marketing pieces is we put little QR codes on there that takes people to a landing page where they could just click a button and say, yeah, I'm interested in doubling the size of my business. And that QR code contains all the information we need as marketers to know who's interested in our piece, who's responding, and then we can continue to
Very cool.
move them on
yeah,
down.
we'll funnel down, but through the mail instead of a ad.
Yeah. So digital
Very cool.
advertising is getting more and more expensive.
Yeah.
So for every customer you bring in with a mail piece, probably costs you about the same per person, per lead to do digital.
Interesting.
So,
Okay.
and you drive down your costs by mixing them well together.
Yeah. Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah.
So what was the name of your business again? Because I don't think we ever said
We
it.
never said
Oh,
it.
yeah. So I've got 5 companies that all deal with marketing, and they all are based off the name Lesix, Lesix. And that's a combination of Lean Six Sigma. That goes back to the engineering days when I was learning all of these engineering techniques that just don't get used in a lot of places. So our mail company we bought in 2018 is called Atlanta Business Circulators. It's right up the road by the Walker School.
Okay.
But the corporate name is Lesix Direct Marketing. And we have a couple of other smaller mail houses that we bought and folded into the company. They're Lesix. Our consulting operation is Lesix Media, and our digital agency is the Lesix Agency.
Cool.
So try to keep some consistent branding and consistent storytelling and consistent messaging, regardless of which company is doing the work.
Yeah. Don't you think that's really important for business owners is to be very consistent in the way they present themselves?
I value consistency.
Yeah.
I mean, consistency can come in a variety of different ways. I like branding consistency like that. But, consistency could mean you go to the right meetings every single week and talk to the right people, and you consistently follow up, and you could not even have a website and still be crushing it every day.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah, definitely.
it just all kind of comes back down to how you do it and what you do.
Yeah. Yep.
So you're pretty, I don't know, you kind of got a servant's heart. You're a community guy. You're involved with the Rotary, which I'm a huge proponent of. I mean, you and I are in the same club, but what has being involved with the community meant to you and meant to your business?
So it's really weird. I love being part of something where I'm helping people's life get better, because I know at some point I'm going to need that help too, right? So there's some self-interest in it from my perspective. It helps me if I help other people, and everybody just is happier, right? At the end of the day, that's just my mission. It sucks when you walk through a day and just feel like you don't have any sort of purpose, right? So for me, I just want people to find that sense of happiness. I just want, it makes me feel good to know that there's people out there that wake up and say, you know what? I am worth people's time.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good thing. It's because we all have challenges in life, but you can get through those challenges if you can look at yourself in the mirror and say, my time is worth being here. So for me, being involved in the community is about just building that sense of happiness and purpose for myself and helping other people find it too. So, I know there's a lot of people that serve on a ton of different boards and do stuff like that. That's never really been my kind of shtick, right? I mean, I do some work with the East Cobb McCluskey Y, and I just kind of sit in the room and I do a lot of listening, and I try to offer some feedback when it's appropriate. Same with Rotary, but I would rather just quietly give somebody some cash or some guidance and say, here, let me know if this helps and if you need some other help. But I don't require any sort of recognition for that. So
Yeah.
I like the whole process of rolling up your sleeves and doing stuff in the community projects and that side by side with other business leaders, because I think so many times you look at different people, business owners, or bank presidents or whatever, and you put them on a pedestal or put them down below you. And I think too, whenever you're working on those projects together and you're getting out in the community and doing things side by side, you build these great relationships with people that you may not have otherwise done that with. And it kind of gives you a whole different perspective. But I think it does the community good to see that too, though, that, see people from different levels of, social or economic classes just kind of together and working together.
I just had a retreat down in Savannah, and one of my speakers, she calls herself the volunteeraholic. And she spoke about my retreat's about health and wealth, and you improve your health to increase your wealth, and giving back is part of that, right? And so she actually talked about there's 5 different reasons that people volunteer, and most of it is for status, like to show that you're doing something good. A lot of it's for also being part of the community and making those relationships, which is giving back to others, but it also makes you feel good too. But it's interesting, there's a whole test. She's actually going to send me the link and we could put it up on the comments when we post this, but it's interesting to see why certain people get involved or volunteer or give back. Sometimes it's for themselves, and that's okay. And sometimes it truly is like quietly just want to help someone.
And like I mentioned this earlier, right? I mean, it's not a dark period of my life, but it's just a very sad period of my life, right? I mean, I've just had some loss with losing Mike a year ago. And, I mentioned our son and my dad just about 6-8 weeks ago.
Oh.
I don't despair, but I think by virtue of the fact that I've invested in other people's sense of happiness and purpose and been willing to say it's okay to be a little sad and broken. You shouldn't apologize for that. You shouldn't apologize for taking care of yourself. And that's really always just kind of been my mission, is just to just invest in somebody's soul. And I can do that for myself and be quiet about it. The amount of people that have just come up to me and said, it's okay. You're not obligated to us to do anything.
Right.
I mean, that's
good community.
You know, I'm a firm believer that that's what we're here for, right? That's how we glorify the relationships that are created, regardless of what you believe or how you believe it. You know, whatever you believe, that's how you glorify a sense of purpose. You take your own happiness seriously, and when you've done that, you can contribute to other people's happiness so that they can do the same, and it just builds a richer environment for everybody.
Life, yeah, all around.
I think that's a big point too. Is if you're not happy, how can you make other people happy?
Yeah.
You know, if you're miserable, that people see that, feed off of it, feel it.
Sometimes I like to talk more about like joy, because I think happiness, you could be happy when it's a sunny day and then be sad and upset when it's a rainy day. But if you're full of joy, even when tides come or troubles come and you still have joy within you, that exceeds out to others. So
yeah, and I think we're all, the nice thing is we're all saying the same thing, right? Yeah. Regardless of what word we use,
right.
That sort of energy
and passion
just it people want that, right? So, and that's part of why it is that I've kind of found my niche in what I do, and working with the clients that I do, whether it be political or marketing, is we just have these moments of just passion, of just figuring out solutions to problems. And I mean, that's just, you know, I can make billions of dollars in the world, but
sure,
you know,
but then the government makes billions of dollars, and
you know, pays for a great Saturday night, but you're still waking up with a hangover on Sunday morning,
exactly.
Right? So
exactly.
At the end of the day, if I'm able to walk up and give my wife a hug and say thank you for sharing your life with me, I mean, that doesn't take any money to do that.
That's right.
My wife told me that she said that I'm the only one that she wants to make miserable for the rest of my life.
Yep.
You're the only one I want to pester the rest of your life.
That's a good feeling, isn't it?
Thing.
She's all right.
She is cool. She's way cooler than you.
Oh, yeah, I'm a ray of fucking sunshine, though.
Definitely not.
Yet here you are again.
I know. Why am I even your friend? I have no idea.
You've asked that question too, huh?
I know, so many times.
It was obvious from what I told you earlier. He had no choice. It was going to happen regardless. You know, the world, everything had aligned.
Facebook stalker over here,
right? What a creep. He kind of did that to me too. Not Facebook stalk.
I was going to say.
He's like, he tried to get away from me.
Sat there at 2:30 in the morning on his phone saying, "We're going to be best friends. We're going to be best friends. We're going to be best friends."
Yep, he was manifesting the shit out of it.
Yeah, how'd that parking spot manifestation go today?
It was great. I'm right across the street. Listen, every time I come to the square, I manifest a parking spot. It's amazing.
Kristen and I manifested one right in front of the place.
I saw. You guys took my spot.
On time.
Yeah, true. Okay.
So I did too, and then I had to go buy fucking whiskey.
So I got to ask him a question, because I don't think I've ever asked you how you ended up being a Tottenham fan.
Oh yeah, this is a great story. So,
what's that?
Tottenham Hotspur, the pride of north of London.
Okay.
The Kings of White Hart Lane.
Okay.
So when I was in college, one semester, I had 2 days a week where I had a 2-hour break in between classes that were all the way across campus from one another. And I would stop in at the Student Center, which had a bar called Ranskeller, and I'd just kind of sit there and kill 2 hours, right? And I wasn't 21 yet, but the bartender would let me come in and just kind of sit at the bar and grab a Coke, because it was like 10 o'clock in the morning, right? Well, he was an English dude. And so every Tuesday and Thursday when I would walk in there, there'd be a group of about 6 guys watching Arsenal. And Arsenal is Satan. So I didn't know much about English football. I mean, I grew up playing soccer, and, you know, I was never really all that great. I should have been a goalie because I was tall, but I didn't listen to my coaches and just didn't end up being a goalie, right? So anyways, so I just asked this guy one day, like, who are these guys? Like, why are they doing all this? Well, he would have his family record matches from England and send them over on tape. And so he'd put the tape in, and then these guys just kind of created this little like fan club, supporters group for campus. But they were all douches. They were just obnoxious. So I asked him, I was like, who do you guys hate more than anything else? And he's like, we hate Tottenham. I said, okay, well, that's my team.
That's who you like. That's awesome.
So it started from just trying to like piss in these guys' Cheerios to becoming part of this culture for this team. It's just kind of like being a Cubs fan, right?
I was going to say, I'm a Browns fan, and I get the same feeling from being a Tottenham fan.
Yeah, you know exactly what it's like being
I mean,
a Browns
our favorite
fan.
saying is maybe next year.
Yeah. You know, I know what it's like on the opposite side of being a Browns fan, because I still watch The Drive every chance that I get.
Oh, fuck you.
Yeah, beautiful poetry in motion.
That horse-tooth son of a bitch, man.
That was one of the most beautiful moments. Beautiful moments.
I hate fans.
But anyways, being a Tottenham fan, look, we don't win anything. We're in positions to win, and we trip over on our own shoelaces. And there are just days where you're like, God damn it. Why do I do this?
I think the last thing I texted him was, this team drives me to drink.
Oh, boy.
But see, I got there the more American way.
Yeah.
Followed Clint Dempsey.
Yeah.
So Clint Dempsey was, I mean, I don't know. I still think that he was probably one of the best Americans to ever. Brian McBride played. He was really good at Fulham, but Clint Dempsey played over there, and he played at Fulham, and then he went to Tottenham, and he actually he did really well there, and then came back to the U.S. so he could be close to his family.
So he's definitely one of the most American players ever, in the sense that he was never given any credit, never given any chances to really succeed, but he just went out there with grit and determination and said, fuck you, I'm going to do this.
Nice.
Yeah,
And that's the way he played.
kind of grew up in the hood in Nacogdoches, Texas.
Yeah.
They called him the Nacogdoches Ninja.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, and his sister passed. His sister was the star athlete of the family.
Tennis player, wouldn't
Yeah,
she?
yeah, and she passed away when he was a child. So he all of a sudden had this opportunity to start playing travel soccer in Texas, and he's always made it a point to just basically say, I mean, I never wanted to piss away this opportunity. But he's also one of the coolest guys in the world. I remember during the 2010 World Cup, they're interviewing the American players in South Africa. And his entire clip in that interview was like, well, I don't know where we're staying, but I see this pond over here where I think I can go fishing. So I think I'm just going to go over here fishing. And again, that goes back to that dude knows what makes him happy.
Right.
He loved playing football.
Yeah,
And he
I mean,
loves
he was killing it. He was the third highest scorer on the team, I think, that year. That last year he was over there, and he had the opportunity to come back and play in the U.S., and he did it because he wanted to be close to his family. I mean, he just is like, okay, I did it. I was here. I did it pretty well.
Right.
I'm going back to the U.S.
Yeah.
Make my money, be a star in that league, and be close to family. So
That's cool.
I'm a miserable Spurs fan too, and
It sucks to love these guys so much, right? But you know, there's always next year, right?
there's always
For them to break our heart.
next year. So it's kind of like being a Falcons fan. Falcons have been to 2 Super Bowls since I've lived here. I think they've only been to 2 Super Bowls, period. And one of them was the last Super Bowl that horse-toothed son of a bitch from Denver won.
That's right. That's right.
Like anybody but this.
99. Beautiful man. Beautiful man.
The Falcons shouldn't have been there, and they had a great season that year. And
well, they
everything lined up.
They lucked out that Minnesota's kicker was not clutch at the moment. He should have been.
Yeah,
clutch.
but ours was.
That's exactly right.
Morty Anderson.
Yeah.
Slugged it and beat Minnesota, and wow.
Yep.
And then they got just trounced.
Dry humped all over all over the field. It was awesome.
Dry humping so much.
Well, it's you don't get pregnant that way.
That's true. Good shit.
Do you ever see? I think it was called Bad Teacher with Justin.
Oh,
Timberlake.
yeah.
I'm gonna dry hump the shit out of you.
Well, I picked it up. Wedding Crashers, one of the greatest movies of all time, right?
Yes.
You got Vince Vaughn in the bathroom, and he's looking at Isla Fisher, and he's like, "Look, just leave me alone. Your cousin dry humped me all up and down the field, right? That damn racehorse." And I'm like, "That's the best description I've heard of getting your ass kicked ever." So I just kind of adopted it as my own.
Yeah.
So, well, look, this has been fun.
Yeah.
How do people find you now? How do they find your
Yeah.
business?
So if I'll tell you, if you ever want to just take an hour and a half of time and figure out your path to doubling the size of your business, go to lesix.com, and you'll see all of our businesses listed there.
Lesix.
Combination of Lean and Six Sigma, and just click on one of the websites, or you can, there'll be a button up there that says, schedule your discovery session here. And again, if you got 90 minutes of time, you'll walk away knowing things about your business and how to grow your business that you wouldn't have learned anywhere else.
And then once you put it into action and grow your business,
Right.
then call me, and then
That's
and then
right.
get ready to
I'll
sell
sell
it.
it.
That's the dream. Here in about 10 years, I'm going to call up Doug and say, get rid of all this nonsense that I have surrounding me, and I'm going to go off and retire somewhere. And,
That's another, I said that we're intertwined. I'm talking to a guy in Columbus, Georgia that I know that's a business broker, and he's like, he goes, I got a guy from up around you that's looking at buying a business, and
yep,
it was him.
that was the broker, that we ended up working with. So, so lesix.com, and like I said, just click on the button, schedule your session. I'll come to you. I mean, you just have to ask yourself, if I can figure out a path to grow my business, double the size of my business in 90 minutes, is that a good exchange of time?
Worth your time.
That's absolutely right.
Definitely.
And even if you walk away and say that was a waste of 90 minutes, you're still going to have things walking out of that meeting that you wouldn't get anywhere else.
Yeah, stuff you can use.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So, cool.
I don't know about a bottle of whiskey, but
Right.
No, we may tie him up, steal that. Well, look, thanks for coming on. Glad you did.
Yeah, appreciate y'all having me. So
It's been fun.
Been good booze, good conversation.
Yeah.
And if you're following us on Spotify, or you're going to follow us on Spotify, make sure you send me an email, whiskeyafterworkpodcast@gmail.com, and let me know. Also, if you have any ideas for future episodes, or questions about this episode or previous ones, or suggestions for anything,
Or if they want to be a guest.
Yeah, if you want to be a guest, tell me why.
Let us know.
Send us an email, and we'll get back in touch with you, and we'll see you next episode, Melissa.
Yes, been fun.
It has. Talk to you later.
Bye.